Hello, Taurus. I'm glad you're here. I know you don't rush into things easily. And when you choose to listen, it's because something inside you already knows it's time. So let's talk about this full moon on the 10th of July, not with fear, not with false hope, but with the kind of quiet truth that Taurus understands best. This moon isn't about cleansing or starting over. It's not soft. It's not symbolic. It's not interested in surface-level rituals or temporary relief. It's something much more real. It's the moment your life begins to shift because something you've been asking for, something that's been living inside you, patiently waiting, is finally being heard. But the answer doesn't come wrapped in comfort. It comes with conditions, because this moon, as powerful as it is, won't just give you what you want. It will take away everything that doesn't belong in the version of your life where that wish comes true. And that might feel like a loss before it feels like a blessing. That's the catch. What you've been waiting for is closer than you think, but to hold it, you'll need to release what was only ever meant to carry you this far. Wish fulfillment isn't always about gain. Sometimes it begins with removal. The universe doesn't deliver miracles the way we expect, not as sudden gifts that land softly in our hands, but as shifts that slowly, and sometimes painfully, restructure everything we thought was fixed. If you've asked for alignment, for peace, for something deeper and more lasting, and then this full moon isn't interested in the small talk of your intentions. It listens to your energy, your habits, your patterns, and it starts moving things that no longer fit. Even if you're still holding on to them, that might mean a job that once gave you stability suddenly feels unbearable. It might look like a relationship drifting out of reach. Not because it failed, but because you've outgrown what it once offered. It might feel like your routines, your comforts, even parts of your identity start to fall away. And while that can be disorienting, it's not a punishment. It's a clearing. Taurus, I know how much you value consistency, how deeply you invest in what you build, how long you hold on to what once felt right. But this is the part where something deeper steps in. The version of you who made the wish cannot be the same version who receives it. And that means something has to change, not just around you, but within you. This full moon isn't tearing your world apart, it's reordering it, piece by piece, so that when your wish finally arrives, there's room for it to stay. You weren't meant to carry everything forward. Some of what's leaving now was only meant to teach you, not to follow you into the next chapter. And if you can accept that, even with the discomfort, then what's waiting for you will be far more lasting than anything you've had to let go. This full moon isn't working in generalities, it's tuning into very specific threads in your life. And if you've been carrying a wish that falls into one of these three areas, the energy around you is gaining traction fast. The first thread is karmic justice. This is where old loops finally close, not because you've forced them to, but because they've run their course and can no longer hold space in your present. If there's a situation you've carried for too long, a relationship dynamic that never balanced, a decision that was never fully made, a silence that felt heavier than words, this moon has a way of tipping the scales. It brings truth into the open, not to create drama, but to restore a sense of emotional clarity that's been missing. For Taurus, who often holds on out of loyalty or duty, this moment is a gift disguised as a line in the sand. You don't need to carry unresolved weight anymore. If it's meant to close, it will close now, and it will do so with finality. The second thread is elevation, and it comes through visibility, recognition, and a shift in how the world sees you. If you've been putting in the effort, showing up consistently, doing the work, even when no one was watching, this full moon holds the kind of momentum that can finally move things forward. Whether it's a long overdue promotion, an opportunity to lead, or simply the quiet but powerful acknowledgement that your work matters. This is not about chasing fame or validation, it's about being seen in your true value. For Taurus, whose strength lies in steady eager, often uncelebrated progress, this can feel both affirming and unfamiliar. Let yourself receive it. You've earned this shift not through spectacle, but through stability. And now, life is beginning to reflect back the truth of who you are and what you've built. The third thread, and perhaps the most resonant for your nature, is long-term construction. This moon favors what is built to last. It rewards investment not in the market sense, but in the emotional, relational, and spiritual sense. If you've been nurturing something quietly, a relationship that's been growing slowly and intentionally, a project you've kept close to your chest, a vision for your future that hasn't yet been shared, this is the time when the foundation begins to solidify. The energy here doesn't ask for speed, it asks for seriousness. It wants to know you're in it for the long haul. And if you are, the support coming your way won't be loud, but it will be real. For Taurus, this is where you thrive, building roots that hold, choosing quality over immediacy, committing not for the high, but for the harvest. This moon amplifies what you're ready to commit to, and it clears out anything too flimsy to withstand time. Now, here's where things become delicate, not because the energy is fragile, but because the timing is, around this full moon, there is a 72-hour window, a brief but powerful stretch of time where your internal state becomes the magnet for what shows up around you. And Taurus, this is where your steady nature becomes your greatest asset. In these 3 days, for the universe isn't listening to your words so much as it is reading your energy. It's not analyzing your goals or checking off your intentions on a list. It's tuning into the emotional current underneath everything you think, everything you feel, and everything you believe. And that current, if it's clear, calm, grounded, will start pulling the right pieces toward you almost effortlessly. But if your energy is scattered, rushed, or filled with quiet doubt, then what arrives might reflect that same instability. This isn't to scare you. It's to remind you that manifestation isn't magic. It's resonance. What you are emotionally aligned with will find its way to you, whether or not it's what you thought you were asking for. And because this window is so sensitive, it also becomes a time when illusions show up not to harm you, but to test you. There may be offers that appear suddenly, a message that seems like the breakthrough you've been waiting for, a person reappearing with perfect timing, a job opportunity that checks every box on paper, and yet something about it doesn't sit right. Taurus, you are intuitive in ways that are often underestimated, not because you speak your intuition out loud, but because you feel it in your body, in your pace, in how you respond to pressure. This moon will throw what looks like gold in your path, not to reward you, but to ask, can you tell the difference between what is real and what is merely familiar? Between what you're truly ready for and what you're tempted to settle for out of urgency or fear that nothing better will come? The danger isn't in the offer. It's in the reaction. And if you move too fast, if you say yes before you feel fully at peace, you may find yourself locked into something that looks right but drains your energy over time. This is where your natural caution is a gift. You don't need to be impulsive to prove you're ready. You don't need to grab the first thing that arrives to show the universe you're grateful. Your power lies in your ability to pause, to listen to your gut, and to wait until what arrives doesn't just sound right, it feels right. Because under this moon, the most aligned opportunities won't rush you. They won't spike your anxiety. They'll click into place quietly, like something you didn't even realize you were waiting for until it showed up and made everything make sense. Let the tests pass by if they don't feel right. Trust that what is truly meant for you is not going to slip away because you took an extra breath before choosing it. That breath might be the very thing that saves you from repeating a cycle you've already outgrown. And if you've been paying close attention, you might start to notice something else, something small, easy to miss, but strangely persistent. A number, not the typical repeating sequences that flood your feed or the so-called angel numbers everyone seems to chase. No, this number feels keener, more personal, even oddly random. It might be a number you've never thought much about, or one you used to see as a child, or something that holds no obvious spiritual meaning, and yet it begins showing up again and again. On a receipt, on a license plate, on the clock when you weren't even checking for a sign. It shows up when your mind is still and your guard is down. And something about it makes you pause, not in fear, but in recognition. This is not a coincidence. This is the universe confirming that your request has been received and is already in motion. That number isn't there to tell you what to do. It's there to remind you that something has already started shifting on your behalf. And this is your tracking code. Taurus, you don't tend to chase signs the way others do. You don't always need fireworks to believe that something real is happening. But this number, this subtle, persistent presence is not just a symbol. It's a signal. It's proof that your energy has been acknowledged and your manifestation tagged. You may not have realized it in the moment, but the wish you made, whether through a whispered thought, a private hope, or a choice you made without telling anyone, has already been assigned a place in the unfolding of your life. And now, this number becomes the quiet confirmation that what you asked for is on its way. Not through chance, but through alignment. You'll begin to notice it before something shifts, just moments before a message arrives, before an unexpected conversation opens a door, before your inner landscape starts to feel different. It shows up like a breadcrumb, leading you through the fog. And over time, this number may even connect to your past in ways that surprise you. You'll remember it from somewhere, a dorm room, a street address, an old birthday card, or a childhood memory that suddenly resurfaces with meaning. That's not nostalgia. That's recalibration. The number is tying who you were to who you're becoming. It's not trying to inspire you. It's trying to wake you, because Taurus, when change comes, it often does so slowly, through the soil, under the surface, where the roots shift long before the bloom appears. This number is your root line 8. Pay attention to it, track it. Let it remind you that what you've asked for is not drifting somewhere in the future. It's already making its way into your present. And your only job is to stay steady, to stay open, and to keep moving forward without forcing what isn't yet ready to land. So here's what I want you to remember. Taurus, this full moon on the 10th of July is not the conclusion. It's the ignition point. The energy surrounding this lunation isn't about wrapping things up with a tidy bow or delivering instant closure. It's about unlocking a sequence, a quiet chain reaction that doesn't just play out in one night, but continues to unfold long after the moonlight fades. The real movement begins in the days and weeks that follow, through patterns you didn't notice before, through moments that seem random but are anything but, through synchronicities that line up so precisely. You'll feel the hair rise on your arms. This is the kind of change that doesn't come with a loud announcement, but with a steady shift in your awareness. You'll hear something in someone's voice. You'll feel a pull toward a place you haven't thought about in years. You'll make a small decision that quietly alters your entire path. That's how this energy works, not by forcing, but by rerouting, not by demand, but by design. And the most important thing, this change isn't general. It's personal. It knows you. This moment has your name on it, not your title, not your role. And not the version of you that's been performing for others, but the real you, the one who's been doing the work silently, showing up, staying grounded even through the noise. The one who's been holding the vision even when nothing outside was confirming it. That version of you is being called forward now, not for a test, but for a rising. This moon is responding to your frequency, your intention, your truth. And everything that starts shifting now is doing so to meet the version of you that's finally ready to receive what you've long carried in your heart. So don't be surprised if the next chapter begins in whispers, because sometimes the most powerful moments don't make a sound. They simply arrive right on time. Thank you for sharing this space with me. If the road ahead feels unfamiliar, that's not a sign you're lost. It's a sign you're finally leaving what's no longer meant for you. Let the shifts come. Let what falls away make room for what's real. You don't need to rush. You don't need to prove anything. You only need to stay rooted in your truth and let this moon do what it came here to do. Trust the timing. Trust the quiet signals. And above all, trust yourself. I'll be here walking this with you every step of the way. Until next time, take good care of your energy. It's calling something beautiful home.